Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll learn about the important parts. Why infrastructure as code is a big deal. How Terraform makes it super easy to set things up without too many manual work. And how to start Terraform from scratch with EKS. I'm super excited to make you on this adventure, where we're understanding basic and event try things out in hands-on demo. As you know, the Terraform provides two ways to create EKS from scratch or use EKS module. Today, we are focused on start things from scratch. Let's dive in and have something fun learning together. Hello everyone, my name is Lian Duan, and I have been a developer for 20 years, specializing in DevOps and cloud security. In today's video, we'll cover infrastructure as code and Terraform concept, how to break down Terraform resource into AWS EKS, and step-by-step hands-on demo. First topic is, what is IaC and Terraform? Infrastructure as code, it lacks a cool way to manage and set up your tech stack using code. Imagine telling your computer what to do by writing infrastructures in a code language. Terraform, developed by HashiCorp, stands out as a robust and gifted IaC tool. Why do the DevOps people love it? Terraform uses HashiCorp configuration language, making it easy to understand and ready. Helps avoid mistakes when setting up things manually. Can quickly and reliably set up your tech environment. As we continue our journey, we'll see how to break down Terraform EKS resource from scratch. It is super helpful if you're new for Terraform. To create AWS EKS, we begin with AWS Management Console. It's like our baseline. If we do not know how to do it there, using Terraform can be tricky. When we create EKS, think about three things. VPC, like your EKS neighborhood. EKS cluster, the big boss. And EC2 node group, the worker bees. If you want to see it in action, check out my video. Create an EKS cluster using AWS console. It's go out details. Now, let's connect the dots between Terraform and AWS console. I'll go to screenshots from EKS AWS Management Console, and we'll match them to Terraform resources. There is a summary. Let's go to the screenshot one by one. Create an EKS cluster has 6 steps. We match Terraform resources to each step UI. AWS EKS cluster, the big boss, creating the actual EKS cluster. IAM role and IAM role policy document has a permission detail. We use the cluster access default value, so no Terraform resource need. Second step is network config. VPC, subnet, internet gateway, and AWS root table. 4 things work together to create a VPC for EKS cluster. VPC is your EKS neighborhood. Subnet, specify area in the neighborhood. Internet gateway, connecting to the outside the world. AWS root, actually this root table, how things move around in your virtual cloud. The cluster endpoint access is configured by EKS cluster resource. Next step is about logging. I will demo how to enable logging and monitoring in future video. Step 4 is select which EKS add-on you want to use. In step 5, we can configure which add-on version will be used in our cluster. Step 6, just review. We skip it. After EKS cluster provisioning, next mapping items are EC2 node group. The EC2 node group has 4 steps for creating. Step 1 is use EKS node group resource to create EC2 node group, and use AWS IAM role and role policy attachment to create a role for the EKS node group. Step 2, use EKS node group resource again. Just include more configuration items such as EC2 instance type as T3 middle, and scaling configuration. Go to next step, add 2 subnets into node group resource. The 2 subnets ID values are from AWS subnet resource. Step 4 is review step. We have a resource big picture. Now, comes to the executing part, the hands-on demo, where we put everything we learned into action. Do not worry, I'll guide you through each step, making it super easy for you to follow along. Before we start, make sure you got things already. Installing Terraform. If you haven't done it yet, do not worry. Check out the guide on the official Terraform website. The page has the installation steps for different operation systems, for Linux, Windows, and macOS. Switch back to my Markdown file. I also have videos for install Terraform on Windows and Linux. It's super easy. If you have questions, drop them below. I'll help you out. Once Terraform in, configure it match your word. My video, configuring AWS command line interface, can guide you step by step. AWS admin user is used in my demo. Next, quick go through my Terraform code. Open the main.yaml file under the coder folder. Go to the top. First, VPC creating one section in UI and mapping 4 Terraform resources: AWS VPC, subnet, internet gateway, and root table. I add each resource document link above the resource. If you have questions about any configured item, ask below, and I'll answer. Second, Terraform AWS EKS cluster. The resource is used by multiple steps, such as cluster endpoint access map to lanes 93 and 94 in the step 2. In step 1, has a cluster name and a master node version configuration item, as I highlighted. Move a little bit down, you can see the how to create the role and the related policy. Also, you can see the created EKS and specify the version. Finally, add 3 add-ons and configure add-on version as step 4 and step 5 on the GUI. Questions on the starting with the Terraform resource. If I'm new with the Terraform, how do we start from scratch? There is a good example. I copy this resource link and open it. Look at the basic usage section. This is your start point. You can change it based on your requirement. Switch back to my Markdown file. After EKS cluster was added, we head to the EC2 node group. This will be start from LAN 180. Step 1, the EKS node group resource is created and mapped to the 1 role. One AWS IAM role is created and 3 policies tagged to the role. The role detail is on my video, EKS roles. The subnet configured for the group is on the LAN 184. Also add 2 labels for the EC2 group. That's all. Back to my Markdown file. Let's bring our AWS EKS cluster to life. It's a magic time. Open the terminal under the code folder. Check the current path. The path is correct. First command run Terraform init. The command initializes your Terraform working directory. Download all the related package. Use the Terraform plan to check the main.yaml file. The command will list all the resources will be created. Quick go through. Everything looks good. Next, run the Terraform apply to create a VPC, EKS cluster, and EC2 node group. Yes. The creating process takes time, usually around 20 minutes. Creating in progress. EKS cluster creating completed. Move to the creating EC2 node group. The resources, the EKS cluster and node group create completed. Next, update kubectl config detail. The update successfully. The kubectl config detail is update region to the US is 1, and the cluster name is EKS demo cluster 01. Finally, run AWS space EKS describe cluster command with region and cluster name to get the cluster detail. You can see the cluster name and all the related information. That's all for today's video. Today we learned how to create EKS cluster with Terraform from scratch. If we new for the Terraform, we can go to the official document, use the code example as your start point. Do not forget it, run Terraform command to destroy all the resources we created to save your money. It's very important. Thank you for watching and see you in the next time.